Test, 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 test.
Yeah, how's the sound? Is this
I think it sounds pretty good.
close enough so you can hear me good?
Yeah.
My
All right.
silky voice.
Silky smooth.
So are we just rolling as
Yeah,
usual?
we're rolling.
We're just going to go for it?
I feel
All
like
right.
we're further apart right now.
Yeah, you seem really far
Yeah,
away.
you're like really far away.
I don't know. Is that good or bad?
Should I scoot up or?
No, you're
it's fine
good.
with me.
It's fine.
Just don't look up my shorts.
We're talking to the internet, not just. I'm not
That's
going to
true.
do that. I just
I'm
realized
messing
what
with
you said. It's all you have all tattoos everywhere, anyways. It's like
You wouldn't
camouflage.
even see. Yeah.
So what are we? Episode 6, Save None podcast.
Yeah, I
Is
believe
this
so.
6?
I think so.
Yeah, it's been a while again because I keep dropping the ball and not being organized to like.
I'm the same.
Let's sit down and do this.
I'm the same, man. It's hard to. Well, you're good at finding ideas to talk about.
Oh, I have never had a shortage of ideas, unfortunately. Yeah. So, yeah, no, it's good though. I really enjoy it when we do it. It's funny because it's one of those things where like, I'm like, oh, we got to do this. I got to make time for it. I got to coordinate it. And then we sit down and like, oh my gosh, I could just talk for 5 hours like effortlessly. So, episode 6, glad to be back.
Yes.
Different-
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's true.
Thanksgiving's coming up.
Thanksgiving tomorrow. Very exciting.
First off, like, what are you thankful for, man?
Just my life in general.
Yeah.
Like if I actually take time to think about like where I'm at, you know, it's easy to lose perspective. We all do it, you know, but if I think about like my family and my friends and the situation I'm in life, like I have a lot to be thankful for. My little stresses or things that might seem like they're a big deal to me are very minor in comparison to what they could be. Like, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I've got, you know, food and a roof.
Yeah.
I can honestly say I'm probably the most thankful just for my life and where everything is right now as I could ever remember being. So yeah, just
absolutely.
everything as a whole. What about yourself?
Yeah, same. You know, I mean, I'm thankful for family and friends and just breathing another day.
Yeah.
You know, getting to wake up and borrow time, and you know, life isn't perfect, but I'm learning every day, and you know, battles, and you know, it's just trying to. The older I get, just failures are almost accomplishments in a way, you know, because I'm learning and I'm getting wiser and better and all that. So
isn't that like a measure of success? The more times you failed. That's just
well,
me. You know,
I would
like
be
I've heard that.
Jeff Bezos.
I'm quoting it wrong, I guess.
No,
but
I know what
it's
you're
that concept.
saying.
Like the more times you just fail, those are the lessons that you learn, and the likelihood of success increases. So
yeah, it's a bitter embrace of failure. You know, I hate it, but at the same time, it gives me a lot of insight into what I need to do to change things. So
yeah, you just get to a point where you start to accept it. Like for myself, like it was a very like you don't want to fail. You're afraid to fail. Like it's this really negative thing. But then you're like, well, if I just now, honestly, I'm used to failing. Like I have a wife and 3 children. I have a business that I run that's a people interactive customer service. We'll kind of call it business. Like I fail every day in some capacity. And so then it's just like, all right, pivot, move on, like move forward, like regroup, whatever.
If you let it beat you up, then, you know.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. So, I'm excited for Thanksgiving. We got a big group of people going to run tomorrow. We're doing the local turkey trot thing. It's like
Which you're actually running.
What's that?
You're actually running.
I am. I'm doing a 10K tomorrow.
Have you trained at all?
I've run a little bit, actually. For whatever reason, like I just decided, I don't know why, I go through phases of wanting to do different things for whatever reason. It's just my ADHD fitness mind. And I started running a little bit. Like I've run, you know, a handful of times. Not like I'm following a running plan or anything. Yeah. And I was just like, you know, I've kind of enjoyed it a little bit recently. I don't bring my phone. I don't listen to anything. Like I used to do that in the past. Now I'm literally just like, I'll bring a watch so I can kind of keep a pace kind of thing, or I know how far I'm running. But like, yeah, I just lace up my shoes, go swing my legs around a couple times, and like just go run. And so I was like, why not? We used to do like Thanksgiving Day like runs all the time, and we always enjoyed it. It's just I like being active anyways. It like clears my head for the day kind of thing. And so I figured, why not? I'll do the 10K because I did like a 4-mile run, and I was like, well, I can do a 5K, so I might as well go do a 10K, you know, 6 miles, 6.2 miles, like no big deal. So we have a few people actually doing that. I'm excited. There's a couple people I think we can maybe even run together-ish, at least for a little while. Or, I mean, there's no expectation. Just go run, enjoy it. We're going to, big group of people from the gym. I think that's the best part. Like there's probably close to 30 of us now that are doing it. So we'll meet up, high five, hug, head out and run, and then go home and eat. So
yeah, I don't want to get too far off topic for today, but like I've kind of been noticing this mind hole when I train now, where it's almost like a blankness, where I don't feel any pain in my arms or legs, and it's just like a just go, you know, sort of mindset, and it lasts for maybe 30 seconds, and then after that I'm like, oh crap, why did I do? But like, is that like the ultra marathon mindset? You know what I mean? Like, how do these guys do 4-minute mile marathons? And
Yeah, that I can't speak to. I'm not fit enough to have ever run that fast. For
I feel like you've trained with a lot of elite people, but like,
I haven't done a whole lot of like distance and endurance training with crazy high level people. I mean, I've definitely been around some that are like fitter and, you know, a lot more high level than myself, but there is definitely like this, you just get into this space. Like you've got to kind of,
it's like open, it's like a clarity sort of.
Yeah. Well, it's like runner's high.
Yeah.
You know, like the first mile is always the hardest. It's your body adapting to the stress of the physical nature of what you're doing. And then you settle in, you get into this rhythmic breathing. And then it's just like, you know, how long am I going to be out here? Am I out here for 40 minutes, an hour, 5 hours, 10 hours? Like you've just got to get in this like acceptance of what's happening. I mean, I've done some longer stuff that I really struggled with, but never thought about quitting. Like that's one thing. Like I've never like given up on a race, or I didn't finish one I did with friends because it was a time thing. There was 3 of us doing this Spartan Ultra in the mountains, and you had to finish by a certain time to go to the second loop of the race, and we didn't get there in time. So it's not like we gave up on purpose. It was just a couple of guys probably weren't quite ready for what we were undertaking. And like I always finish whatever I'm doing. It's just, it may not be how I expected it. My Ironman, perfect example, not the finish I expected to have. But I never, once I started, thought about like, quitting. I'm not going to finish. I just accepted like, I'm going to be out here all day. This is what I'm doing. And even like in CrossFit workouts, like the one we did yesterday, I got into this space where like I didn't want to do it anymore, but I'm not a quitter. Yeah. And so like finish slow, whatever, but just finish. So yeah, you definitely get into like the zone.
It's weird. I've never really
experienced state, right? Isn't that what everybody calls it?
Is that what it is? Yeah. It was almost like I was in space. You know, there were like nothing really mattered. Yeah. And I didn't feel anything. And it's happened maybe 3 or 4 times. And I'm like, dang, like if I could just hold this for 2 minutes.
Yeah. Well, it's just, it's building that, you know, like anything else, like your endurance or your strength. It's just like progressively build that over time and kind of block it out. And you've done this for a long time and done lots of hard stuff. So you definitely have that. I've seen you do some workouts where it clearly to me seems like you're feeling no pain and you can just, I've seen it. Like there's been a couple workouts where I'm like,
I'm just trying to channel my inner Dave.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all
I
I'm
don't
trying
know
to do.
about that. I feel like you give me too much credit, but,
okay.
So yeah, topic for today. This is something that came up pretty recently for me in my own life in a couple different ways, was just people that have inspired or influenced us along the way, whether it's from like early childhood, adulthood, whatever. It was just an idea I had. Again, because there's something pretty prevalent at the moment of like, you know, who are 3 or 4 people that have significantly impacted like how you do things, how you live your life, or just, you know, maybe things you've done at certain times or whatever the case may be. And so I thought that would be just a cool topic to go into. Going into Thanksgiving too, didn't even directly connect it to that, but I guess like,
true.
You know, thankful for those lessons and whatnot. So I've got like a group of 4, and I figure we'll just take a few minutes on each one and kind of say like who influenced and how. So I don't know if you want to start. I feel like I always start.
You could start if you want. It doesn't matter to me.
All right. I mean, I guess. So the reason that this came up in my mind is it's something we're doing at the gym right now, this cold bar challenge thing. We have a deadlift bar set up in the corner of the room. The goal is to deadlift it without doing any other reps. Like, you know, if it's safe for you to come in, put your backpack down and go over and deadlift it, have at it. But if you need to move around a little bit first or whatever, like go ahead. But it's intended to be like physical preparation. How prepared are you at any given time to do physical activity? This is an idea that I got from a gentleman by the name of Rob Orlando. So he's a former CrossFit Games athlete, affiliate owner. He was a lightweight pro strongman many, many years ago. That's how I actually got introduced to him, was during his strongman career, because I used to do that back like 2009, 2010. I think he'd already gotten into CrossFit at that point, but this was a thing that he had done. He stole this like tagline from Louis Simmons that like the cheetah doesn't wake up and necessarily have to stretch to go get breakfast. Like it just gets up and runs, you know? And I know people push back and be like, upward dog and downward dog, animals do that. Like they do, but they don't have to.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a prey animal, you're running full speed at the drop of a hat if you need to, or if there's food and it's close by, you're just go.
They haven't had any pre-workout. They
Right.
haven't had
And like,
no
if you
shoot,
need to stretch for 20 minutes to go do a warm-up 400 or to deadlift 50% of your max, like, how physically prepared are you? It doesn't advocate for not warming up, but like, maybe you should get yourself in a space where you're a little bit more capable of doing things without such a to-do or such a lead up. And
Oh, for sure.
you know, whatever, again, injuries and whatever aside,
No,
it's just
yeah,
the premise of like, you're not truly physically capable unless you're capable at almost any time. So
It's like crap hits the fan at 3 a.m. at night.
yeah, like
in
your
own
life
house,
doesn't
and
give you chance to
jump out
put
of
on your
bed.
lifting shoes and warm up.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
something happens, you have to like react, like whether it's to help someone, help yourself, like chase your dog, whatever the case may be, like you have to be physically capable. And so that was kind of the premise of it. He would do it with deadlift or bench press, and it was like put a weight on the bar that you're comfortable moving with no warm up, and then you progressively just add weight to it. Like you just put, 10 pounds on the bar until it gets to a point where you're like, I'm good, that's enough. He would do it at his gym. He'd do it at home. We did this years ago. Some friends of mine at my old gym, like we did the CrossFit Strongman seminar. That was something that Rob ran. I went down. So I met him and interacted with him a few times. We went and did the Strongman seminar. We did a competition at his gym. I messaged back and forth with him a little bit. He's just a really down-to-earth, like good guy. Like I looked up to him as an athlete. Ran a very successful affiliate. He was very no nonsense. One of the things that sticks out is you do the CrossFit Strongman seminar, and he'd be like, at the end, we're going to do this, give you a layout of the weekend syllabus, so to speak. He's like, at the end, we're going to sit around. We're going to eat a whole bunch of pizza. There's some beer in the fridge if anybody drinks, whatever. And he's like, I don't care if you're paleo. Don't be weird. We're going to sit around and eat pizza. If you don't want to, don't. But don't be weird about it. Don't make anybody else feel like, just don't be a weirdo. Like he was just super no nonsense, matter of fact,
Sustainable sort of
mindset. Like he was just
Yeah.
like whatever. And I looked up to him in so many ways for that. We did the cold bar thing. I had a deadlift bar set up in my basement. We had one in the corner of the gym, and it was just this random, like whenever you thought about it or walked by it, you were supposed to just like grab that bar. Like we'd do it middle of workouts. I'd do it first thing in the morning when I woke up. At his gym, that bar would get crazy heavy for the deadlift because he had a lot of like power lifter, strongman type athletes. So, I mean, it'd be a 500-pound deadlift bar in the corner of his gym. And it was just this last man standing kind of thing where when finally no one was willing to give it a shot. So we're kind of doing the same thing here at the gym. Load the bar up. We started like 225 with some heavy collars, so it's a little heavier. And you do one deadlift rep a week. At random, just not part of a deadlift workout, and we're progressively going to add 10 pounds until nobody wants to do it anymore. The reason this came up recently is there's a thing going around for Rob because he's actually battling cancer at the moment. He's been dealing with it throughout 2025. He actually got it like in his mouth or his jaw. He had to have this pretty aggressive surgery, remove part of his jaw. They took muscle out of his leg to put in there.
Good Lord.
From what I understand, because he's not like a personal friend, he's just someone I kind of follow from afar, and I know a little bit. He was starting to get better, and then it spread, started to have some complications. I actually saw on a podcast last week he had a heart attack. I don't know if it's just due to treatment or complications, but just not in a good way. So they started this cold bar challenge on the internet. Some old school guys from the CrossFit space. They're doing a GoFundMe fundraiser. They're selling T-shirts. I bought it. It's a Rob O Strong T-shirt that I bought online just to kind of support. Again, it was just someone. He was very influential to me. I should probably circle back to why. He's like the reason I started doing CrossFit. Like I was doing strongman for about 3 years or so, competing kind of locally. He was relatively close in Connecticut. I knew guys that knew him and had trained with him. And when I kind of wanted to start doing CrossFit, I didn't know much about it. Like I was just like, I know this thing exists, but what is it? It was like goofy high socks and burpees to me, because back in the day, that was a big deal, the high sock thing. And I just saw Rob on YouTube doing Grace with like a log. He was doing Atlas Stone CrossFit workouts. He was doing all this crazy stuff. And it was like, oh, so it's just taking what we used to do for like reps or for a minute, and you like maybe you run in between. Like you're just, fitness is fitness. CrossFit's doing it with a clock. He was crazy strong back when most CrossFitters weren't to that level. Like there's videos out there. He's doing like 300 plus pound squat clean thrusters back in like 2010. You know, that's relatively commonplace, crazy now for athletes, but like that wasn't a thing back in 2010 that most people did. It was, the strength
Pro
game
football
hadn't
player
caught
stuff.
up. What's that?
Yeah, that's like pro football players, sort of.
Yeah, he was just a crazy strong from all his years of strongman and powerlifting. So he was really an inspiration to me of like, oh, CrossFit can be super cool. It can kind of almost be whatever you want. You can incorporate all these other things. Like that was a teaching method that he had, was like, it can take years to teach someone how to clean really, really well, but I can teach them how to flip a tire in 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Picking up an Atlas stone is about as functional as it gets. Like life doesn't have weight belts and lifting shoes and this fixed object. It's just like, this stuff is very functional. It's very empowering. And he was just a big inspiration for me. And I wonder, maybe I would have gotten into it, but maybe not. Like it was really like, this guy's pretty cool. I like what he does, what he says. And then even the more that I got to know of him and about him, it just furthered it. So he's a really big inspiration to me. So that's why I kind of want to do this cold bar thing at the gym, and why
there are a million challenges. I mean, why did the cold bar resonate with you so much? Is it because you thought Rob was so cool, or you liked the functionality, or?
Yeah, I just had a lot of respect for him as an athlete, as a coach, and it was also something that's relatively simplistic to do. Some of these things, like, not to disparage any of them, like 75 hard is like this all-consuming, full life thing. And I'm not saying it's not beneficial, and if people are doing that and it gets them consistency, I think it's great. This is like one deadlift rep. I do it every day. Just that's me. The gym one is just, can you do it once a week? Because, I mean, I'm around a barbell 7 days a week. I have one set up in my garage too. Again, at the weight we have on there, I'm comfortable just grabbing it and going right now. I know that's probably not ideal for everyone, but it's just simplistic. It's an easy barrier for entry, and it's just kind of like meathead, old school. We set up the bar with steel plates. Like that's where I came from, was like high school weight room, steel plate, meathead kind of gym. I think that's what resonated a little bit with Rob. He's a very intelligent guy, but has this very meathead, like, let's just eat a lot of food and lift heavy approach to stuff. And I was just like,
love that.
That's what I knew. It wasn't super complicated. It was like, if you want to get strong, pick up heavy things. If you want to move fast, then move fast.
Yeah.
Like you don't need a whoop and a this and a sauna and a this. And I think those things are all great. But if you just want to do certain things, you kind of just have to go do it. And that's always been his approach. So it just... I
like it too, because it kind of gets you in that mindset of like, wow, maybe I'm not ready for everything. Maybe I should try harder. So once a week you have that little punch in the face.
Right.
Or it's like,
can I brace? Can I be stable? Can I be in a good position? Is my mobility in a place? Like that might be the issue for some people. Like, if your whole body is super tight to where doing a deadlift rep at 50 or 60% of your max is like really uncomfortable without warming up, like that's a cue that like you need to be doing some different things to where that's not such a big deal. Like if you can't deadlift half of your body weight or half of your max without warming up, what's the reason?
Yeah.
Like if something's hurt, then we should address that. So it's a good way to like find those things out. Like, oh, my back's way too tight to do that. Well, then let's fix why your back is tight.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool.
It was just,
that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So Rob was just real influential to me. Yeah. Big part of why
I don't know a lot about him, but I'm going to look into him now. Yeah.
Watch his YouTube videos. They're hilarious. He does Grace with a 300-pound log. It takes him like 30 minutes. There's I think it's a 300-pound log that he did with. There's a video of him like smashing an assault bike with a sledgehammer, because he just loses his mind. Like he's nuts. Like he's such a good-hearted, seemed like kind guy, but he was also just like a maniac. And his training videos are awesome and hilarious.
That's cool.
Absolutely go watch Rob Orlando YouTube training videos. Like it's just very entertaining, if nothing else. So.
Nice. That's awesome.
So who is
cool.
your...
All right, well... All right, I guess my first one is a gentleman by the name of Steven Summers.
Okay.
So when I was about 13, my dad had just left. My brother was drinking every day. My mom worked all the time to put food on the table. And I was going to a church, and I was hitting near 300 pounds. I was a chunky old boy. And he was like the top show dancer at Dollywood.
Okay.
The singer dancer guy.
Yep.
And he went to my church, and he just kind of noticed all the struggles I was going through. And so he's like, man, let me take you to the gym one day, And so since then, he would take me to this gym called Fitness 2020. Kane, Glenn Jacobs would work out there. Like all these big wrestlers would work out there.
You have such an interesting life.
Dude, no, I'm
man.
telling you, it was just
I can't get over it every time we do these.
Well, it was just the coolest experience ever. And to have someone like that come into my life, it was just like, he was on billboards.
Yeah.
Dollywood, all around Pigeon Forge. And, you know, he just mentored me and taught me about diet and things like that, and would run with me and give me homework and stuff. And, so, you know, we did that for maybe several months, maybe 3 to 6 months. And then my family, like my mom got remarried and we had to move down to Knoxville. But he really started me on the track of fitness and going to the gym and just healthy mindset and just knowing that I could do something, you know, I mean, God, I couldn't run for 10 seconds, you know, and he would just stay on the treadmill with me, man. And just, all right, we'll walk now, you know, just do it with me.
Yeah.
And the wild thing is about him that gives me even more respect, and it kind of, I guess maybe 10 years after we moved away, I looked him up, and he was happily married, had 3 daughters, you know, just a gorgeous wife and just a great dude, church guy. Now he's a gay man married to a man in Nashville, and he's Dolly Parton's creative director and like right-hand man. And it's one of those things where, like, if back then my mom would have known he was a gay man, she would have never let me. And not because she doesn't like, you know, gay people, or she's not like that, but it's just the cultural thing of,
yeah.
And he never once, man, he was like my dad, you know, for several
like
months.
a mentor.
Taught me more than any man ever has, you know?
Right.
And it's one of those things where it just kind of opened my mind and makes me a little bit more open-minded to that sort of thing, you know? And it's sad that, you know, some kids won't have that opportunity because of...
You prejudge.
Yeah.
You get whatever information on the front end or the surface or whatever, and you make an assessment of like, this is going to
he's going to touch me or something.
This way.
That never happened, dude.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, that's...
furthest from the truth. And I get both sides of that. You know, I have a son, and that's a whole podcast for another day. Yeah. But the thing is like, man, that guy changed my life, man. Right. You know? And if the circumstances were different, I don't know if that would ever happened, you know?
Right. That's awesome that like he came into your life at like the perfect time.
Yeah.
You know?
Perfect time,
like,
man. I mean,
something you needed. And
yeah.
So do you still talk to him at all now?
That's the thing, man, is I've reached out to him a couple times, and I don't even think he's like read my messages. Yeah. But I will again, and I'll be like, dude, you're on my podcast, you know? I'm thanking you.
It might just be like that was a moment in time for both of you. You
exactly.
know? Like,
that
was an outlet maybe for him in some way, you know, like I don't say giving back, but like outreach and whatever. And
yeah, I mean, he had 3 daughters. I know he probably wanted a son. I was struggling, you know, and I mean, he would go out of his way to pick me up, take me home, you know, I think he even paid for my membership because my mom couldn't afford it, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, I would love to give him a hug and be like, dude, thank you, you know, buy him lunch or something one day. And, but yeah, I owe a lot to him for sure.
That's super cool. I did not know that at all. I didn't know the origin story of the fitness stuff for you. And
yeah, I mean, you know, I was very out of shape, you know? Yeah. Very out of shape. And he just had the patience to work with me. So I appreciate him for that.
That's super cool. Yeah. It's so good that you found that. Like, that's a missing thing. I mean, I think we've talked about that on other podcasts, like that father figure or that stable, like, male influence. Yeah. Like, there's value to that. Like, whatever you want to say about anything, like, there's people, you need that to a degree, or at least someone to fill the role of what that provides. Like, I'm not saying you can't have like a stable household if there's not a dad in it or whatever. I know, but it's like there needs to be someone that you look to. Like, you need emotional support and love and caring and all that stuff, but there needs to be, to a degree, like a stronger, like, I mean, the good cop, bad cop. There needs to be, not bad cop in an extreme sense of the word, but there needs to be like,
it's the arrow, the soft side and the hard side, you know?
There's someone that provides that both good and bad, because I think it creates balance and safety. And
it's wild too, because my son is 13 now, and just looking at the issues he has and what I was the same age, and like my dad had just told me he wanted to be friends, moved away. My brother was he was my best friend growing up because we moved around so much, and now he's just partying and just he wasn't mentally stable. My mom's just working all the time. Yeah. She worked nights, so she slept during the day. So like I had no one, man, and I had to figure out a lot of things being an adolescent, you know. Right. And again, I mean, he never once grew any of that crap, you know. Like it's
he was just there,
dude.
It was what you needed at the time.
Oh man, I love that guy, man. You know,
that's awesome. I'm glad that you had that.
Yeah, same.
Very cool. Well, maybe someday you'll connect with him again, and if not, at least
Yeah,
it's a
hopefully.
fond memory of
Hopefully.
someone that influenced you.
Yeah,
So,
but he is the reason why the gym is my sanctuary now,
Yeah.
because with him, when I went, it was like, with all the pain, it was better than being at home,
Right.
So
Right. No, I definitely understand that. So, so my second one is fitness and CrossFit related too. And there's a little bit of a hierarchy to this, but not necessarily. It was actually my first CrossFit coach. I don't know if he'll watch this. I'm going to kind of nudge him to do so because I want him to know. And we've talked about it a little bit. His name is Nicholas Normandin. He was the head coach at the first CrossFit that Carrie and I went to, CrossFit EXP in Massachusetts. He's been around CrossFit, my gosh, like forever. Like when we started there, it was like late 2011 was the first time we went to that gym, and he'd already been doing it for a while. Personal training, triathlon, coaching CrossFit, had a lot of experience. He's a bit younger than I am. I don't off the top of my head know how old he is, but a good like 7-8 years younger than we are. And he just had like this way about him, and it's very funny because I have a whole new respect for everything that Nick did and how he did it. Like back then, I almost like didn't agree with how he handled things. Nick always seemed to be like a people pleaser, let people kind of do their own thing. Like I don't want to say didn't want to make waves, but was like very easygoing, laid back. He was a very good coach. Like he helped one of the girls that was at the gym compete at the CrossFit Games years ago. Nick's own wife, Tiffany, was an individual regionals athlete multiple times. That gym had a team that went to regionals multiple times. Like Nick was a good coach. He knew what he was doing. He knew how to help them, like from the brand new person in the gym to this higher level athlete. But I felt like he was, I feel bad saying it now, like he was a little bit of a pushover and almost too nice because I was like hard-headed, like this is CrossFit, like it's supposed to be nasty. Like, and that was even in my lesser window of experience than his. Like he had already been doing it and was more old school at that point than I was at any by any means. But I watched the videos, listened to all the stuff, and I was like, why does Nick let people get away with this stuff? And why is it like this? And like, I didn't agree all the time with how he did things. Like I was, again, much more hard-headed. Like I remember that people would joke about the warm-ups that I'd make. As a coach, you used to be able to make your own warm-up for class, and people would be like, Dave's warm-up is a workout. Because I was just like, we're going to grind and we're going to work hard, and the harder this is, the better it is. And now, fast forward over a decade, I'm like, oh, I get it. Mm-hmm. Like my mentality wouldn't even resonate with Dave today. Like it's good for some, not all.
Would you have gotten on your nerves? Like would old Dave?
Maybe just being a little too stubborn and too hard-headed. You need to be a little more like middle of the road, especially in a group setting like this. Like not everyone is here for the same reasons. Like you do have like the hardcore, I'll say like former military or former athlete. Like they want to be pushed hard. They want to be this. Not everybody wants that. And just my way or the highway is no way to do things. Like making people do burpees when they're late for class. Like that really wears on people and it's not super fun. Like you need to be a little more understanding to maintain the peace. Like back then he was like the head coach. He and his wife kind of like ran the gym for the owner. They actually now own the affiliate. It's funny. Like Nick and I didn't really talk for a number of years. We reconnected kind of recently. And ironically, I actually owned an affiliate technically before he did. They actually went through that process relatively recently of taking over the affiliate that they've been at like for 15 years. And now it's just funny sharing stories and just, I have a whole new appreciation and respect of like, Nick's always been a good coach. Like he's at his CrossFit level 3 for like a decade, like very knowledgeable, very experienced, but also like, he just kind of like, I don't want to say played the game because I don't want to make it sound like in a bad thing, but this is also a business and it's a very diverse group of people in the room. And like, you're kind of catering to all and every, to a degree, not just the person that wants to crush themselves every day. Like you need to meet people where they're at a little bit more. And that's something I completely did not understand and was probably bordering on disrespectful to Nick about that, to where now I'm just like, he had this figured out a long time ago, and I had to grow up a little bit and get more into that headspace to appreciate, like, he was doing the best he could with a games and regionals athlete level group of people and people that like could barely do a burpee.
Yeah. God, that's got to be rough.
And just in that role, you just have to, you know, I see that just so much more now because, you know, I'm just in that space of where, like, I have to give the people that want the bang their head against the wall kind of stuff what they want, but I also have to meet the brand new person that's, you know, maybe deconditioned or hurt or what, you know, like, you have to do a little bit of all of it. And
how, like, far is that gap between, because, you know, you see scaled options and you see RX Plus, and it's,
so it's funny, like, the headspace is not necessarily always super big. Like, the person that struggles to do things might have a similar mentality to the person that's like the fittest person in the gym. They might be super dedicated and hardworking and want everything, but just they're not in a place to do it yet. Like, they have to either get towards it, get back to it, whatever the case may be. But it's a pretty big disparity. I mean, you've been around here for a long time. We've had some and have some still to this day, like some athletes, like there are some workouts we do and I'm just like, how did they do that fast? Like, I've done this for a long time.
Yeah.
And I have a pretty good understanding. You know, I understand my own fitness. Obviously there's people way fitter than me, but I understand the whole gambit of the gym, and I know people's, you know, potential or what they're can do. But even still, sometimes I'm like, wow, how did so-and-so, like, they crushed that. Like, they just did that super well. But then the converse, I'm like, people got time capped on that?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, what is wrong with, but
Yeah.
part of it is understanding yourself, choosing the appropriate variations of stuff. And so the gap is pretty big, and it's not to be mean to anyone, but I mean, there's, you know, former D1 athletes in here, people that are, you know, bordering on CrossFit Games level, or at least, you know, next rounds of the open kind of level. And then there are some people that are, maybe they've never worked out. You know, we literally have people in here that we do stuff and they're like, this is the first time I've ever done this, or I haven't run since I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
So it's finding the middle ground. And Nick just did a really, really good job about that. And I have a lot of respect for him, especially doing it this long. I mean, we're talking 20 plus years he's been in this space and done it at a really, what I would consider high level, just in terms of the product that he provides to his people. So he influenced me a lot. I didn't realize that at the time how much it really was. But as I progressed in this journey myself and went from just like, hey, I'm a part-time coach that really only cares about my own workouts, to slowly evolving into now I care more about everybody else's workouts than my own. Like, he just did such a good job and always has. So a lot of respect for Nick. That's and cool. Very thankful that that's who we encountered on our journey.
Yeah, it's a hard balance, I would guess, you know, because it's like not painful enough, too painful. It's like a restaurant with a dessert. Is it sweet? Not sweet enough. And you don't want people to quit.
Right.
Because it's too hard or because it's not hard enough. And it's like, God, where the hell is the middle
And
ground?
A little bit of that comes with education from myself and the rest of the coaches of like, you know, we're mindful of, we don't want people just to choose the harder version all the time, because maybe that's not like the appropriate thing. Like, the goal isn't just to bury yourself every day, but, you know, like, hey, we're doing, I'll think of someone like you, right? We're rowing and we're doing like farmer carries or something. Like, dude, you just have no like rev limiter on that stuff. Like, you row like a maniac. I've never seen you put something down in a grip type challenge. Like, what I'm getting at is like, hey, the RX is 53s.
You can't do that for someone else. Yeah.
What's that?
I see what you're saying.
Like there's things that might be appropriate for you to do that aren't appropriate for everybody else. And we don't want someone else to do it just because it's the harder version. So that's where it's up to the coach to be like, hey, dude, you want to grab the heavier, you want to use the 70-pound kettlebells for this? Have at it. Because I've never seen you put down a 53 if we had to carry it a quarter mile. Like, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And there's different cases where that's, we want people to feel like they're getting something accomplished, but then also at the same time, the goal isn't to just bury someone every single day, because that's not beneficial long term. There's a limit to how much you can do that, and we don't want anybody to get hurt. So
yeah, definitely.
But it is a balance, and I do try to keep that in mind of like, let's challenge the top, not diminish the newer, because if everything is way too hard for everybody, I understand that's still the CrossFit thing. The best do this, and everyone else scales, but like, people don't want to feel defeated every single day of their entire life.
Yeah.
So we need to give people wins along the way.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So we try the best we can.
What's his name again? Nick what?
Nick Normandin. Nicholas Normandin. CrossFit EXP. If you're in Central Massachusetts, they do a great job. Check them out.
Nice.
Highly recommend. 10 out of 10.
Nice. All right. I guess it's my turn. I'll do my brother, Gabe Miller. Passed away almost 20 years ago. But, he was like my protector. We moved around all the time, like I've said a million times. And, he was always, he was protecting me, but he was also preparing me, He was always the one talking. So he kind of showed me to listen. So I'm definitely a listener, and I like to observe my surroundings. He was always unpredictable. I don't know, there's just a lot about him, man. Great musician, brilliant, but he got hooked on drugs early on and just couldn't stop. It's a sad story. He would have been very famous, I believe, and a lot of people do, man. I mean, I still get stopped 20 years later. It's like, oh, you're Gabe's little brother. I'm like, yep, that's me, man. It's like,
yeah.
Yeah, he would always protect me, but he would also like get the neighborhood kids together, and he would referee boxing matches and make me go in there and try to fight other kids. He's like that type of dude that.
Yeah.
I remember, I think he was 15, and he organized a concert in Sevierville at the Civic Auditorium, sourced all the food to be put in, sourced the bands. Just a brilliant dude, man. Wow. But he could not get it together, and it's just really sad, man. It's, I have a heart for drug addicts and anyone addicted to anything, but I also want to shake them.
Yeah. And
be like, dude, stop,
right.
Like your life could be so much better. He never experienced an iPhone. He never seen a plasma TV, I don't think. I don't know, maybe tail end of it, but I don't know where I'm going with that. It's emotional to talk about him sometimes, but he definitely influenced me a lot. Still does.
I can tell you brought him up occasionally, and I didn't really know where the headspace was with that, so I've, never.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good now. It's just, it sucked. He was the reason I was such a good musician, for sure. I mean, he would push me. I mean, he had me in the recording studio when I was 11, I can remember the time the guys recording us, me and Gabe got in a fight, and I threw drumsticks at him. I was like 13, and the guys took us outside. These grown men were like, "You guys need to settle down." And we're all young. We're just shaking. We're like, "Oh crap!"
Oh my gosh,
but
that's hilarious.
We had some times, and anyways, yeah. He still influences me to this day, for sure.
Well, it's good in that way that you have those like memories, obviously it's unfortunate he's not here to still like potentially influence or be a part of your life, but you have those fun things to look back on and the lessons that you learned from them, which is funny because like they may have been super intentional on his part. Maybe they weren't. That's just how he was wired. I feel like sometimes people, they influence us just because that's who they are. Like they're not necessarily trying to teach you a lesson. That's just the nature of their personality or how they do things. And now that you're older and can reflect in a different way, you're like, wow, like I didn't realize how impactful that really was.
Yeah.
And it's good that you can still like have that. And like, even now talking about it, like I can tell like, there's a degree of like, yes, it's sadness. Like he's not a part of your life anymore, but the joy when you talk about him, like I can see it in your face. I can see it in your eyes. Like that's, I'm sure he would love to know that this many years later, that when you talk about him, that is still how you feel.
Yeah. The honest thing though is, before he passed away, we had some SHIT going on, and I didn't like him, and so it sucks that he went like that, but I don't know. It's that even influenced me too. Like, don't burn bridges, man.
Right.
Because it leaves a bad taste in people's mouth. Something happened.
Yeah.
Tomorrow to me, and I don't know, hurt somebody. It's like they never get that resolved, either. And
I think though,
it's a tough one, man.
I completely understand what you're saying. Carrie and I will talk about that sometime. You don't go to bed angry or don't leave the house angry because you never know. But I think that in totality, like I said, like just seeing the kind of like glow in you when you're talking about him, like he knew He
For sure.
knows,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like that wasn't who you guys always were.
Definitely.
That those other things that you're talking about, that's who you guys were, and that's what was important, and that's what to hang on to, you know?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
so
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't like beat yourself up about, I mean, because we all have those things. We're like, oh, I'll never see that person again, and that was our last interaction or
Yeah.
whatever. But it's easy to do that to yourself, but it's probably not how that person remembers you anyways.
sure.
And if
Yeah.
they
Good
did, I'm
point.
not saying in this scenario, but, you know, if they did, you know, you have a 20-year relationship with somebody and they remember one fight you had and that was the last time you talked to them.
Yeah.
They
Right.
want to be
yeah.
that petty and forget the previous 20 years. Like, that's on them.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
So,
True
yeah,
that,
I
yeah.
mean, that's, again, another very influential, it seemed like you had that where, you know, you had the stuff with, you know, your dad not being around, but you had these, you know, you had your brother and was it Steve?
Steven, yeah.
Steven.
Yeah.
That kind of filled that role, and
Yeah.
important that you had that. And
Yeah. No, I'm lucky to have had that. For
I mean,
sure.
think of it now, like you're still into music, you're still into working out. Like you're talking 20,
absolutely. Yeah.
30 years ago that these people had an influence on your life, and it's still part of who you are today. So I
Yeah.
think that's awesome that you had that. So
Yeah.
well, sorry that
No. Yeah. You're good. Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
So my next one is family as well, and similar but different in a way. It's actually my mom and dad. Will kind of combine the two, and probably not for the reasons that most people would say that their mom and dad influenced their lives. And maybe this will rub some people the wrong way, but it's the truth. It's the reality of like my life and my upbringing. I had little to no relationship with my biological dad. My mom was pregnant when she was 18. I think my biological parents had basically split up before I was even born. And I have some like very vague recollections of my dad from like my very early childhood, maybe into like 3 years old. I don't know if can remember that far back, but I do have a couple of like images in my head of like time that I spent with him. But then after that, like I had no interaction with him. The only thing I really remember of my early childhood regarding him was my mom complaining about him not paying child support. Her kind of explanation is he just like kind of wasn't a good guy. Like he struggled with drugs and drinking and was just not this like great person. And she didn't want me to be around him and kept me from him or whatever. So I had no relationship with him at all. And then, you know, fast forward to, I think it was like 21. I was kind of like, you know, I was kind of going through some stuff with my mom at that point also. And I was like, you know, is he really as bad as I was kind of told? You know, as he's not been a part of my life, like I need to be the one that makes the decision whether he is or not. So I actually found out a way to get in touch with him, and met and like had lunch with him one day for the first time.
God.
In
What was that
however
like?
long? What's that?
What was that like?
It was a little awkward.
Nervous?
He was someone that, you know, I'm sitting across from like my biological father and I know nothing about him and can't ever remember speaking to him. And like that interaction in that time was fine. Like there was nothing like negative about it, but like also at that same time, I, in a brief period there, whatever it was, an hour or so, was like, I don't feel like I missed out necessarily on a whole lot not having you in my life. Like there was a lot of like excuses, blaming my mom. Like it was just this kind of like, you know, you're my dad, you're part of why I'm here, but at the same time, like I don't know how positively or how improved the quality of my life would be.
I think that same thing. It's like, man, I'm probably better off. You were probably better off without that dude holding you back.
I actually
know?
knew some people that knew him. It was a weird, like, I grew up in a small town, so people were very interconnected. There's actually a guy I worked with. His like wife's sister was married to him. Like this was, this was like in my mid to late 20s or something like that. And it was like, oh, he's an alcoholic and he has drug problems and all this stuff. Like it was not, the perception of other people of him was also not so great. It was actually kind of bordering on like embarrassing. And I'm like, hey man, I didn't get to control who brought me here.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even talk to him.
It made you the opposite way. You know, it made you stern-headed about not giving up, you know.
Well, so that is part of how it influenced me is like, you know, I know we've talked about this previously, but JJ's 8 years old and he has already had such a significantly different father figure in his life. Like I am there every day, not perfect, far from it. You know, I can be impatient, I can be short about things, whatever, but like I'm comfortable saying like that little boy like idolizes me and looks up to me and loves me so much, and I feel the same way about him. And I just feel like I've already won and showed up so differently than my dad ever did, that like how I grew up and that lack of a real father figure and that like just feeling the way that I did throughout my life because of it, like I'm not going to let my son have that. And so like, again, some days are better than others, but like I'm tucking that kid in, I'm giving him a hug, I'm doing, you know, whatever. Like anytime he comes up and wants a hug, I'm going to hug him. And even if he's driving me crazy, I'm like, dude, you're driving me crazy, but I love you. And like, you know, because I just want him to know and feel what I never did. So it really, from a negative standpoint in a way, but showed me another direction to go. And actually my biological father passed away a few years ago, maybe 2022-ish, I think. I can't remember. I don't know why. It was something I was listening to or whatever. It just prompted me to like Google or look him up, and it was his obituary.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, he's not even here anymore. And the craziest and most ironic part about it is he died on June 4th, which is Carrie's birthday, and it is also my mother's birthday.
Oh, wow. That's wild.
Like they have the same birthday. We always thought that was like a funny thing. Like, my wife and my mom have the same birthday.
Yeah.
But then also my biological father passed away on that same day.
Did he leave you millions of dollars in his? Oh,
no.
That's what I'm waiting for.
After that day, when I was like 21, I never talked to him again. And I don't want to say never gave it a second thought, but I was just
you were 21 or it was 2021?
No, when I met him.
You were 21?
I was 21.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought you meant it was 2021.
So,
I was like,
no, I think like I was probably about 3 years old
when
I stopped seeing him at all. Saw him again when I was probably around 21, maybe 22. I don't remember exactly.
Wow, okay.
And then 20 plus years went by until I ever even really put much thought into it. And then he was gone. And now here we are.
Do you think he would have stayed around if your mom would have let him? Are you thankful for your mom?
That's what he said. Like he kind of like your mother, like, you know, he blamed her for everything.
Are you glad she didn't?
I don't know. Like it's hard. Like maybe everything would have been different, you know, like maybe he would have been different or maybe it would have been different. Like I don't know that. As hard as, you know, childhood and whatever might have been, like I'm happy with who I am and where I am. I have my own stuff I still have to kind of deal with and work through. But at the same time, like I wouldn't change today and what my life is for much. So maybe it was meant to happen. And then also my mom, and again, unfortunately, it's kind of this like negative way about it. I don't have really any relationship with her either. She was there when I was a kid, like physically, but really checked out a lot. I come from a long line of alcoholics, grandfather, mother, other relatives in my family. I have a very addictive personality. It thankfully has manifested itself in exercise, maybe to the detriment of like my joints and stuff. But like
shoes.
I'm addicted to exercise. I don't gamble. I don't drink. I don't do well with moderation. So like there are certain things I should definitely avoid.
Didn't you buy like 3 pairs of shoes recently?
I bought several pairs of shoes for different reasons, though.
Not an addiction.
And not just all for me. Carrie,
I'm messing with you.
Some for Carrie. But all through my childhood, I know it's not all my childhood was, but if you said like, what is the most prevalent thing you think about regarding your mother, it would be drinking. It's alcohol. Like, I just remember so much of like her just kind of always drinking and being very checked out. Like there was a section of my life, you know, she actually got married when I was 5 and then divorced later on. And like, she just went through a lot of stuff. I just feel like I was kind of almost raising myself. Like I had a place to live and there was, you know, some semblance of food in the house, but like I learned how to do laundry. I learned how to cook things. Like I was a very independent, do things for myself person because I felt like that was a survival mechanism. And it built a lot of resentment, which then later in life really manifested itself when I had kids, because I was like, I saw those same things and I'm like, I don't see this being a positive thing for my children. Like you're in your 50s and your 60s and you're still like drinking basically every day. And like, I just don't want to deal with this anymore. Like it affected me in a way and it's impacted, you know, how I show up in life in different ways, good and bad. But like, that's part of why I don't drink. Like I haven't consumed a drop of alcohol in over a decade. And it was lots of reasons. Health. I love CrossFit and fitness and all that stuff. I'm not great at moderation. And it was just like, my kids are never going to go to sleep with drunk parents or not home parents. Like, I called bars when I was a kid looking for my mom.
That's crazy.
Because I like was uncomfortable. Like, I couldn't go to sleep. Like, I didn't like being with the babysitter. Like, at 10 years old, calling a bar and asking for my mother because I wanted her to come home.
That's sad, man.
And I was just like, this is not crap my kids are ever going to experience. Like, they're never going to wonder if dad's okay or when's he going to be home for, like, that kind of reason. You know, there's whatever. I'm busy. I'm out. Carrie and I have occasionally traveled or done things independently. But, like, I was just like, there's no freaking way my kids are going to have anything close to the childhood that I had. And so it's unfortunate, like, to this day, I have no relationship with my mother. I haven't talked to her in years. I struggle with should I, because one day, I mean, she's older. She's going to pass away, obviously, at some point. Am I going to regret not having a relationship with her? I'm not sure. But does the fear of regret override, like, what I'm losing out on right now? And I honestly, if you were to ask me right now, I don't think it does. And that's why I don't reach out and I don't try to mend fences or... And
I don't see you as the person that really regrets a lot. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, or regret holds you down or holds you back. Does it?
I mean, good and bad, you know, like I have a thing of, I mean, I think we've talked about that with the light switch with people sometimes where I can pretty quickly just flip a switch and move on. If I feel like there's a really good reason not to, I'm not without remorse or without self-reflection that I can go back and be like, hey, I don't like the way that ended. I apologize. I mean, there's been instances even now, there's people that are in my life right now in this gym that, like, things maybe ended bad with at one point, but we both realize that's not how it should have gone and we should fix this. Like, I'm not above saying sorry and mending fences, but it has to be a mutually beneficial reason to do it.
Yeah.
The other side is I can pretty quickly flip the switch off and then run that reel in my head of all the reasons why it's a good idea and just be like,
yeah,
I don't want to say dead to me. Like, it sounds really bad when you say that, but, like, I'll move on, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
If I can feel good about how it ended, at least, where I don't feel like I've wronged somebody.
Yeah.
If I'm in the right to not want to pursue things, a further relationship with that person, then I'm just like, whatever, you're gone. Like, I'm not going to regret it because I don't have time for that. Because I've got 40, 45 years at most left on this planet. I'm not going to spend it worrying about someone that didn't care
That's
enough.
what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. You know, I think you have that mindset. I have the same mindset where there may be a few things where I look back, I'm like, dang it, why did I do that? Well, like, it doesn't ruin my life. Like, it does some people, you know, and it's, I don't know.
I mean, it goes through my mind. You know, it's my parents, it's my mother.
Yeah,
you know, I'm like, am I going to regret this? Like, she's like, I don't want to say old now. I mean, she's like, whatever, not even quite 20 years older than me. It's not like she's 85 years old right now.
True.
But she's older, probably not in the best health. I mean, she drank forever. She smoked forever. People in my family do live decently long, 80s-ish, but, you know, also not in the super most health.
Yeah.
That was a weird phrase, super most health.
Super most health.
I don't know. It's something I'll say I struggle with, that it's an internal thought, but then at the same time, I've got my own 3 kids and wife and all of you awesome people that don't make me feel crappy that I can focus on. And so I try to just, let's focus on that. The people that's like the whole moving thing. Like, we surrounded ourselves with people that bring us joy and happiness. And, like, though the interaction is more limited than a family thing, like, people are so kind to our kids and are so positive to our kids, like people in the gym, people on their swim team. Like, you know, you're born into a family and don't have a choice, but if you wouldn't be friends with those people, if you weren't related to them, then, like, what's the obligation? Like, I understand blood's thicker than water, but if they're crappy, like, you're going to subject yourself and your family to be around people you don't like. For what?
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
So yeah, that's my third grouping, mom and dad, but different spin on it. So,
do we have time to keep going?
I mean, we do. Corey likes to show up and run. I mean, it's 11:30. I mean, we can definitely, he can come on in, and I mean, we've been I don't say interrupted before. He's pretty.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hey, Corey.
What's up, Corey?
I mean, it's not live. It's not like on the internet as we speak, but talking to you will be in the podcast.
50,000 listeners right now.
You are absolutely welcome to come in, get changed,
Corey Wilson,
for your run.
Morgan Stanley.
No way.
No, you're good. You're good.
You're welcome to be here.
I'm kind of noticing, these influences of ours it's probably like directly correlated with our values in life. Like if you have 3 values, and I'm looking at my list and I'm like, dang, like you said, like fitness, music, and I think my next one is music, and he's the reason why I have so many tattoos.
Okay.
I feel like that's important for
Yeah.
people to know. So he's the lead singer of this band called MXPX. His name's Mike Herrera.
Okay.
I was maybe 13 when I started listening to them. He was 18. They were super tattooed from Washington, from the West Coast. He played Christian pop punk. They've been on MTV before, but they're more of an underground band.
Yeah.
I got to see them on their first tour. I think I was 13 or 14. I used to write him letters, and he would write back and send pictures of them skateboarding. And he's just such a cool dude, man. And he has his own podcast now.
Yeah.
He's still jamming in MXPX, and he plays in a band called Goldfinger now. But he always wrote cool songs that you could relate with about girls and about God. And he had tattoos everywhere. I've seen MXPX over a dozen times throughout my life, and I just love that band.
Yeah.
And he if you saw a picture of him, you'd be like, okay, now I get it.
Now I get it.
I get it.
I kind of picture it. Like I can kind of, I have no idea what the guy looks like, but I can kind of get an imagery in my head of like
just Mexican face, and that's Mike Herrera.
Okay. Yeah. So you're the not Mexican version.
I'm the Mex. Yeah, I'm probably a lot bigger than him too. He's kind of skinny and short, but
you're a pretty big dude. You're bigger than most people. Most people aren't 6'4".
Yeah. But
that's super cool. I didn't know that. We've talked about the tattoos like several times, and I feel like you've mentioned his name, but just kind of in passing through conversation and stuff. I'd
say he really has to do with, I guess, my life value of like creativity.
Yeah.
He is a big part of that. His drummer, I loved his drummer, watching him, and just learning all their music and things like that really helped me excel.
Yeah.
And helped me in situations with girls and with anything,
Right.
and just I've always loved him a lot.
That's cool that you got to connect with him like in actuality in some way. A lot of times we like look up to certain people. Like I've used that kind of like there's a difference between inspire and aspire. Like, you're a basketball player, Michael Jordan can inspire you to do whatever he did to be great at basketball and to be hardworking and all that stuff. But to aspire to be Michael Jordan, that's a very select few, and most fail even at the highest level. Like Kobe didn't get there. LeBron, in my opinion, no offense to all you didn't quite get there. There's one of one in that scenario. So like you can only aspire, you can to a degree, but the likelihood of it like panning out where you're like, I'm going to be that person is not, it doesn't mean they can't inspire you to do things. But I think it's cool when someone that has that kind of impact on your life, you can connect with in some way. It just makes it more real. It's like the Rob thing where I was like, there were times where I could send him a message on Instagram and he would respond. Like, he's got his own family, his own business, his own stuff going on. But like, it was enough to where I was like, that I exist. Like, maybe if I bumped into you, maybe you'd remember that you met me before, maybe not. But I think it's cool that like someone that was so influential to you that wasn't a like first person contact, so to speak.
What's wild too is I just remembered this, but recently he never like used my hair products or anything. I think I'd sent him things before, and then maybe a couple years ago I was looking through the new company, the Best Pace. I was looking through their shipping to help them with an issue, and I saw his freaking name up there from an order. Mike Herrera, Birmingham, Washington. And I'm like, where were you, dude? I would have given you free stuff.
My gosh,
for life.
I would have driven it to your house.
Exactly.
You jerk.
So no, you're right, man. It's cool to have someone like that too.
And now we know the origin story between 6'4", tall, dark, and handsome, covered in tattoos, is a Mexican musician,
bass singing about chicks.
That's awesome. I'll have to look that up. I'm not familiar. I don't.
Yeah. You'll leave it on for 30 seconds and probably flip it, but that's okay.
You never know. You don't know what I listen to.
Yeah.
Like, now I'm not big in like knowledge in terms of like Christian, like, but
I don't think they're Christian anymore. I mean, they just
well, okay. So would you compare it? And I'll go in order of like, so like I think of Blink-182, obviously more mainstream or whatever.
Yeah.
Sublime.
They're more Blink-182. Yeah.
NoFX.
Yeah, very NoFX.
Okay. See, I'm
you
familiar.
Like NoFX?
Yeah.
I played a NoFX cover show recently.
I'm not a big.
Where were you?
I was never a big like skater,
Yeah.
but it's so funny. Like I grew up around all these like hockey players, but didn't really play hockey. Hockey players are often, they were like rollerbladers. So a lot of my friends, like early years growing up, were more into skateboards, and they were kind of more into that kind of type of music and stuff. But then some of my other buddies that were like hockey players, they got big into like rollerblading and like that kind of whatever. So yeah, I mean, I don't know that I could name a whole lot. Pennywise. I don't know,
Dude,
like
that's
I'm aware that they exist.
Yeah.
Don't know that I could always pick their song if it was played for me, but
they're very lumped in that whole category.
Okay,
I mean, they
that's
toured
what I
with those
started
guys.
thinking of when you were talking about
They toured with
that
all
type
those
of
guys.
music, but just maybe a little more of a religious connotation.
Yeah, a little more positive.
Yeah. Very cool. So I have one more. I did kind of save the best for last.
Same. Yeah.
This one, I don't know if I would say it's like the most influential. Probably the longest. It's definitely the longest in terms of duration of influence, and it's my wife. And it's not just to like butter her up. I feel like sometimes people think I say this stuff or I compliment her or, put her on a pedestal because I'm just trying to suck up to her. But it's the reality. Like, I knew my wife back when we were in high school. Like I knew who she was, but like she was a good student, a great athlete. Like we were in a different like kind of class of people, so to speak. And not for any reason if she did any, it's just like she was older than me also. She was 2 years ahead of me in school. Her goal was school and swimming and like, making something of herself. And she had these goals. And I was just this kind of like screwed up teenager that was like doing dumb things. Like, I don't know if my kids, they do sometimes watch this. So I hesitate like how deep into things I should go. But like, I was not a very disciplined, like I squandered a bit of my youth, both like from an educational standpoint, an athletic standpoint. Like, not that I'm a great athlete, but like I do wish I would have tried a little bit harder in health and fitness or sports when I was a kid. But anyways, we were just in different places. And then like when we met later on in life, it was at a gym. She was an instructor there. So she was a middle school teacher. She was like an assistant swim coach. She was a group fitness instructor. And I was just some meathead that liked to work out. And I was kind of coming out of what I would say was probably the worst or darkest place in my life of just making bad decisions and not being the best person I could be. And like I say, I took a chance. Like I was just so afraid to even like try to approach her or ask her out or anything like that, because like it is not an exaggeration. She could do better. Like I didn't have a great job. I didn't have much going on in my life at that time. Like she was just better. And it just kind of inspired me to like, I need to be a better person. Not that it's funny, because I actually really had a deep conversation with this about my daughter recently, my oldest daughter, with her. It's not that I needed to be fake or pretend to be something that I wasn't, but I needed to be the best version of myself that I could be, because in my mind, that was the only way that this was going to pan out. Like, I can't be this stupid 20 whatever year old, like drinking too much, getting in fights, like just doing dumb things, because like she doesn't need that or want that in her life. And if I don't like follow a better path of my own life, like this is never going to work. And so it really just from very early on was like, I need to be a better person so I can be worth her and her time. And even to this day, 20 years later, that guides a lot of my decisions. Like, we've been together, again, 20 plus years, family, kids, businesses, but like at the end of the day, I still know that there's a certain like whatever of me that needs to show up that like to make this work. Like not saying we always agree or that I don't piss her off at times, but the end of the day, the end of whatever it is, like I still need to be I need to be that person that she wants to me to, or like needs me to be, like wants to be married to, like who I'm capable of being, right? We all have this, like, this is the person we're capable of being. This is who we probably usually are. And then sometimes we like drop down here. Like I need to be more this person. My life is better when I'm that person. She's happier. My kids are happier. And again, it's not being fake or pretending to be something I'm not. It's just showing up as the best version of myself. And that like literally inspires me like regularly. I see her, like I take pride in like how well I do running the business and coaching. Not that I'm perfect or that I still don't have room to improve, but I'm confident in my ability. But then I'll see her like interact with certain people and I'm just like, you're just much more forgiving and patient with people. like you can meet people where they're at better than I can. Like I'm quicker to be impatient or short with people or to get frustrated or at least show that I am. And so though I think I like have this, I have technical knowledge, I have all this experience, but it doesn't mean I still can't learn something. And it's not just from her, it's from other coaches as well. But
what's cool, you're a very competitive dude, and that she always keeps you challenged. You know, there's always a challenge every day to like keep her.
Well, there's that too, from like a physical or an athletic standpoint. Like she was a Division I college athlete, full scholarship athlete. Like she is a higher level athlete than I've ever been. You know, almost qualified for the CrossFit games as a master's athlete. Like I've never been that. So like even just that interaction of like, I know there's certain things I'm just better at than she is in CrossFit, but there's also things she's significantly better than me at. And that keeps me motivated of like, it's not like we are competitive with one another, but in like a healthy way. We both know like certain times I'm going to win, she is, but it's just cool to have that, to kind of still push each other, or that we have that shared thing.
Yeah.
That we just have so much in common in that way. Like when we go home at the end of the day, like we both suffered through the same miserable workout, or, you know, pushed ourselves to whatever point. And so like, I know she always saves none and gives the workout the best she can. So like, I feel like I'm slacking if I don't kind of do the same thing, because I'm like, well, my wife did it. You know, like she did the same thing I did, and the workout was my idea. I'm the one that does the programming here. So just for 20 plus years, she's just influenced me, inspired me. Like I don't have siblings, grew up the way that I did, learning how to deal with my children and the stages of life that they're in. Like that is 100%. I don't have experience in that. So like everything is like a first for me in that regard. And she just does such a good job with it that it just helps me even be a little bit better at it. So again, it's wild though, because they say a lot of people tend to end up with kind of who their parent was in a way, you know? And it's like your mom really has no similarities there. Right.
Or is there? You know, they're just the challenge of like having to call your mom at the bar and having her it's like, hey mom, I'm over here. You know, it was like a challenge every day. I mean, I don't know if maybe that was kind of you and Carrie. You said you like that challenge of.
To a degree, that's a thing. Like I need to be mindful of that. Like I tend to be extreme at times. So sometimes like if things aren't going like great, or I'm just in a mood and I veer off one way, I will kind of overcompensate and go back the other way. And I realize that like maybe just staying more in the middle, you know, like I don't always have to, I don't want to say seek her approval, but it's like because of that seek of approval and love and attention and all that stuff from how I grew up, that sometimes that does kind of impact how I do certain things. And I have to be careful to, one, not overdo it on one side and be like a little overbearing, but then the other side is like, don't push back against that and be a prick.
Yeah.
Because like it's been 20 plus years and 3 kids and all this stuff. Like we're not going anywhere. Yeah. So like, let's just be more middle of the road.
I get that though. Yeah. It also keeps you engaged, man.
Yeah.
When you have someone that you can just keep trying to show up and be better for.
Right.
It's, you know.
Yeah, because I do feel like that. Even like, you know, the morning's kind of chaotic with the kids and the dogs piss me off and whatever. And I know that I've like carried myself in a certain way. It's a text message out of red, like, hey, sorry, I was just grumpy this morning. Like, I want to fix that and move on and past it as quickly as I can, because I do like, we have such a good relationship and friendship. Like, that's what I want our marriage to be more than not. So like, how quickly can we just get back to that? Like, let's just move on. And she's really good about like, yeah, it's fine. We're fine. It's fine.
That's awesome.
Just cut it out.
Assurance, yeah.
Yeah.
Or after, yeah, that's awesome. Do we? What time is it?
It is 11:46.
Okay, that is about to die. Okay. I'll just keep it fast.
All right.
It's my mom.
Yeah.
She's literally my hero. Everything I want to be, man. She used to ride her bike 13 miles to work for me and my brother. I mean, she's just, you talk about the hardest working woman.
Yeah.
She and she always has a smile on her face, and I think that's my value.
Right.
With her is, you know, you remember your mom drinking. I remember my mom smiling and saying, hey, it's going to be all right, you know. And so I think that's where I get that attitude from. And she's always out there just trying to make the world a better place. And she does, man. She does make the world a better place.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, on different episodes, like you've always spoken so highly of your mom and like put her on this pedestal, and that like she just did so much for you and
everyone too at the same time. And it's, she has the most energy. One day I'll bring her in here, man. I need to.
Yeah, I'd love to meet her. I'd love
CrossFit,
to meet Ben's mom.
She's wild. She's a wild.
What is
woman.
it? Benji Boo? Benny
Benji Boo.
Benji Boo? I remember that. You
Yeah,
told
she
me that.
she texted me that in the Army, and my sergeant got my phone and was like, Benji Boo. So my whole company started calling me Benji Boo.
That's
It's
great.
the worst, man.
That's great.
Yeah, when your mom learns how to text, it's
Uh-oh.
not a good.
Yeah,
not a
but
good-
I mean, that's definitely how I would view you, like
Yeah.
a helper,
That's
you know,
her.
you're always willing
Yeah.
to go the extra mile for somebody else, and you learn that character trait from your mom,
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I did.
and obviously a very positive one that makes you a very likable person and easy to get along with. So
Yeah.
thank your mom
Yeah.
for that. She did a
Yeah.
good job in that regard.
I'll take it for you. I'll see her in about 10 minutes, so.
Oh, perfect. Sorry that I mean, is there more? Is there more?
No,
mom we
that's
can-
okay. Yeah. I mean, my mom's just an amazing woman, but she does everything. It's hard. I could talk about her for hours, but I think the main thing it sums up to, man, is she just always does the right thing.
Yeah.
She always is positive, and it's just helped me a lot in life.
Awesome. Well, good. I'm glad that you have that. Glad you have such
Yes,
a good
sir.
mom. So yeah, make sure you're kind to her, take her to lunch, do whatever. Make sure you tell her the things you just told
Will do. She'll listen.
all of our listeners.
300,000 listeners
Maybe someday.
one day. Yep. All right. Well,
All right,
people are starting
cool.
to file in.
All right. Thanks, Ben.
Yes, sir.